No time to fear, Karel is so near, because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Karel is the one that you need to know. Now it's showtime.
Never in my life have I seen more of this particular thing occurring, and it is not good for us. We're going to talk about it today. And should we bomb Oman? Why not? President Trump is threatening to do it. Come on, everybody. The game everyone can play.
Now it's showtime.
It is the Karel Show. I am Karel. So very glad you are joining me on this whirlwind cavalcade of a Monday, August 7th. First of all, I did not have Hayden Panettiere dying on my bingo card. She's only 36 or 37 years old. She was the star of Heroes. She was just in a Scream movie. You know who she is, or you may know who she is. She's a star. She was in Nashville, and I got to tell you, they're not really releasing many facts. They said that. On TMZ, it was reported, because TMZ, they got their nose in everything. It was reported on TMZ that they called paramedics to the house for someone who was in cardiac arrest at 37. How does your heart stop at 37? They're saying it may be an overdose, quote unquote, but she's not a known drug user. She was complaining of back pain for the last year, so maybe she was taking medications to manage that. Or women, this is an important community service message, signs of heart attack show differently in women. And sometimes a heart pain can show up as back pain in women. So she may have been having heart issues for the last year and mistaken it for back pain. Women, if you have stomach pain, gut pain, back pain, please see a doctor, because that can, in fact, be a heart attack or a heart condition. Women and men have different symptoms. By the way, did you know that most medical drugs and operations and procedures, and all of them, are tested on men? They're not tested on women. And women's bodies behave differently to the same drugs. They have a different cardiovascular system. They have smaller veins, smaller arteries. It's just unfair that until recently, most medical research was basically done on men, which is sad. It's very sad. So Hayden Panettiere passing away today. Also today in history, in 1977, more flowers sold today than any other day in history. 3,200 bouquets, emptying out all of the flowers in Memphis, Tennessee, for Elvis Presley's funeral. Elvis Presley's funeral holds the record for more flowers bought. Not like more flowers there at the event, but because, Rose Parade, come on. But more flowers bought in one day. So many people, strangers, friends, whatever, sent flowers to the Elvis Presley funeral that day holds the distinction as the day that America sold more flowers than any other day. And that day is today. Today was his funeral in 1977. All right, so we've got all of that going on today. I'd like to greet everyone at youtube.com/reallykarel, and also greet everybody if you're watching live on Instagram, which you can do these days. Watch live on Insta, which is fun and great and fabulous. So if you're there, hello, Phineas. I hope Granny appears in the chat room. She's one of our regulars who's been missing, and that's not good. All right, we have a lot to talk about today. This morning I woke up to the headline, Trump threatening to bomb Oman. First of all, I thought Oman was in Jordan. Am I wrong on that? Like, why would he bomb Jordan? What were they wrong? Well, Oman is not in Iran. So I'm not even understanding that headline. Donald Trump threatens to bomb Oman. What's that about? I don't get that. So that's happening, and it's really quite disgusting. that it's happening because, he can't get his way. And they, he set a deadline. Okay, here's the deadline. And like every other deadline, they've gone because they won. Donald Trump keeps trying to act like the winner. That's what, by the way, did you see the video of him crapping his pants? They actually have video of him crapping his pants. He literally gets out of the car, goes behind a pillar, and then you hear him crapping his pants. And they're all getting distasteful looks on their face and everything. And then they signal that it's over, and he goes back from behind the pillar and back inside.
If you're not visiting reallykarel.com daily, you're missing out. Get the podcast videos and the blog, including recipes, at reallykarel.com. That's really KAREL.com.
You have to be proud with hatred.
Hey everyone, it's Karel. Stream You Have to Be Proud wherever you get your music and let it fill you with the pride it filled me in doing it.
You have to be strong.
Showtime is here, no time to fear. Karel is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Karel is the one that you need to know.
All right, we are back. I was going live on Instagram. I'm not sure if I still am. I don't know. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I could be. But nowadays I just never know. You just never know nowadays. You really don't. You start something, you hope for the best. I posted a live video. It says I'm going live, but there's no video there. So there it is. Okay. All right. So we're there. All right. Granny is back in the chat room at YouTube. We're very happy about that. James Schnabel said that Hayden Panettiere wrote a memoir and that there was some life-altering thing that happened to her at 18 years old. And maybe that was the reason. I can't believe a 37-year-old would write a memoir. I mean, you haven't even fucking lived by at 37, 38 years old. Memoirs should not be written until you are at least 50 years old. You should at least have a life before you write about it. But whatever, unless you're like, I don't know, a Disney star or Michael Jackson, who by 37 had already had like 5 careers. I don't know. Something that I did want to talk about is actually something spurred by Instagram and by my social media posts, which tend to be going great guns. I posted a video about corporations. You guys were here live for the show, where I basically said, we don't live in a capitalist society. We live in a corporatist society. Okay, and that's just the truth. Corporations run our government. They buy and sell politicians, like it's fruit at the open air market. They just, some of them are. But truly, they just buy and sell, politicians. They buy and sell issues. If corporations don't... Look at what's happening. The states do not want the Warner Brothers Paramount merger. The industry that it serves, SAG-AFTRA doesn't want it. The Writers Guild doesn't want it. Nobody wants the Paramount Warner Brothers merger. Nobody. The federal government's already given its approval. Why? Because Larry Ellison is best friends with Donald Trump. If a Democrat were president right now, this merger would not be happening. Okay? That it just wouldn't be happening. Because it shouldn't. It consolidates too many companies under one roof. From Warner Brothers to CNN to Paramount, down the line, Discovery, on and on. All of a sudden, the Ellisons, these conservative a-holes that, suck up and suck Donald Trump, wash his diapers or whatever, are going to merge and make this enormous conglomerate that nobody wants, except the shareholders and the Ellisons. They want it. Nobody else does. So the state's attorneys generals in like 14 states have sued to block it. So now Larry Ellison's threatening to move it out of California to take Warner Brothers Studios. That has been a staple and Paramount Studios has been a staple. Paramount Studios, I've sung there, I have filmed there, I've done a live show there. I've edited video there. It is a staple in Southern California. The big gate, it's been in so many motion pictures, the gate into Paramount, the backstage that's there, the back lot, that's where they film Law and Order SVU. That's where they film The Pit. They filmed so many things at the Paramount lot. And now, because he can't get his way, because California is one of the states suing, he's threatening to move the studio out of California. Noah Wiley this morning commented he hopes that's just saber rattling because that would be moving Hollywood out of Hollywood. But these people don't care. Larry Ellison doesn't love the entertainment industry. Say what you will about the Jews that ran Hollywood, and they did. I mean, the Warner Brothers Studios, MGM, Metro, Goldwyn Mayer, all of the studios were run by Jews in the 40s and 50s. That's who started the studios. That's who founded them. Jews that escaped World War II came over and started, motion picture studios. And say what you will about them, they loved pictures. They loved movies. They loved stars and starlets, and they loved making stars and starlets. They loved it. Now, a lot of them were ruthless, evil, sexist, misogynistic, basic abusers, but they loved Hollywood. Larry Ellison could give two shits about Hollywood. His son, David Ellison, could give two shits about it. So I hope something stops the merger. I do. I hope it takes longer than the midterms, and when Democrats win the House and Senate, and they're going to, Trump is terrified about that, that they stop the merger. And speaking about Trump, not only did he poop his pants publicly, and he did, publicly. He went behind a column. But everybody heard, you can hear on the video, you can literally hear the president crapping his pants. It is just so sad. And these are the same people that still talk about Biden's health. They still talk about Biden. Under my comments on Instagram, Biden. They have Biden Tourette's. Their guy is literally shitting his pants on camera. And they're still saying, well, Biden was sicker. No, he wasn't. Biden didn't have bruises up and down both arms, because he's getting injections of, fetal stem cells to keep him alive. Is he sucking the stem cells out of the necks of dead babies? I mean, I don't know what he's doing to stay alive, but God knows and he's demented. He has dementia. He rambles on. He can't keep a sentence together. The man falls asleep. He has dementia. He's pooping his pants. If he were your grandfather, you'd be looking at assisted living. But he's got the best assisted living in the country. The White House. He's got a complete staff. He's got Secret Service everywhere he goes. And now this woman that he's cheating with, or I think he's cheating with, I don't know her name, but she's some woman who's like with him always. Melania, never, ever, ever. Melania, ever, never, never. You don't see her together with him and all, but you see this woman. What is her name? Anyone in the chat room know her name? Anybody? If you're in the chat room and you know the name of the woman that Donald Trump appears to be having an affair with, going with him everywhere, unless she's his nurse. She could be like an undercover nurse, So anyway, so I posted a video on social media, on Instagram, from the show, a 1-minute video. And it was about corporations and how, we don't have the cars that we really want or need because corporations will not sell them to us. In China, who is leading the way in electric vehicles, and everyone's like, well, why would you want an electric vehicle? See, Americans not only live under what corporations want us to do, but we're brainwashed. They literally brainwash Americans to think that what they're doing is better. Oil companies have brainwashed Americans that gas-powered vehicles are the best way. When we all know the very first vehicles ever invented, the first cars, they were electric. The very first cars were electric. Okay? Why did they switch? Corporations, even back in the 1800s. So electric vehicles are the way right now to get us off fossil fuel. They're not ideal, and we need much better public transportation. But in the interim, they would at least help. In China, you can buy a $5,000 electric car made by BYD. You can buy a $10,000 truck, a $15,000 custom SUV. But you can't import those to America. Nope. Sure as hell can't. We don't get some of the greatest products in the world. Go to Europe. Okay, I've been to Europe countless times. Really, countless. Probably 25 now. Lucky me. God blessings. Thank you, universe. I don't know when I'll go back, but... And trust me, they've got the cutest little cars over there. Little BMWs and little Chevys and little this. Little. Even their trucks and their delivery vans are smaller, littler, more gas efficient. Why? Because gas has been $10 a gallon over there for 20 years. And I feel so... I watch the BBC. Europe is on fire. I know you guys don't know this. Belgium just had their first massive wildfire. They didn't even have the people to fight it in Belgium. They don't get massive wildfires in Belgium. And yet, here they've gotten massive wildfires in Belgium. France, the fires are still burning. The Czech Republic, there's fires. Croatia, there's fire. Europe is on fire. The River Seine and the Danube and the big rivers of Europe drying up. Their crops failing. They are the fastest heating area in the world. Domestically, Las Vegas is the fastest heating city. The fastest heating area in the world, Europe. And it's being decimated. And we're sitting here ignoring it because we don't watch the BBC. We should. BBC should be our main news. It should replace CNN, MSNBC, all of it. The BBC should be our main news source because it's great. I watch it all the time. And the BBC is reporting on the horrors going on in the UK and in Europe in general. I mean, there are fires everywhere, everywhere. They're having another heat wave. We're having another heat wave. God, it was nice for the last week. It only went to like 100. And in the mornings, it was 78. Oh, my God. You don't even know what that was like. Well, nope. Today, if you've been hearing the tings on my phone, it's heat alerts. We have a heat alert until Friday. Wednesday's going to be 108 degrees. 108 and 85 at night. So when we walk in the mornings, it's going to be like 88 to 90 degrees. She hates it. I hate it. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. We have another heat spell, another heat dome. And this is all climate change, which we're all ignoring. Okay, and when I say we're all ignoring, I mean as a nation. We're ignoring it. UK is not ignoring it. They're taking climate change very seriously. Their crops are failing. Their people are dying. Now, 20,000 people throughout Europe, Germany, the UK, all over, have died from the heat. 20,000. That is a substantial amount. Okay? 20,000 is a substantial amount of people dying from the heat. So anyway, all of that relates to corporations because, again, corporations dictate what we buy, what we eat, where we buy it, how we eat it. So I posted that video on Instagram, and I noticed a really alarming trend, okay? And that trend is defending the indefensible. And I've gone back and looked at a lot of my posts, and it's not just the corporate post, although that's a big one. But whenever I post about Elon Musk or billionaires and how we should tax them out of existence, what do I get? I get hate. I get hate from people saying, oh, I'm jealous that I'm not a billionaire or whatever. In this country, we now have a group of bots and people, because the bots influence the people, who defend the indefensible. And the number one is Donald Trump. People defend him. They defend his actions. They defend what he's done. They defend his health. They defend that he's still better than Biden. He's indefensible. Donald Trump is now a war criminal. He is an unindicted war criminal. He's a sexual predator and a felon. These are all proven, all adjudicated. The Supreme Court again today said we're not going to get you out of the E. Jean Carroll mess. He's a felon and a sexual predator, and they defend him. The Epstein files have not been released in full, and no one has been punished by it. They defend that. And the best is they defend corporations. Well, without corporations, we couldn't do this or we could. They act like we actually need corporations. Like our lives would not exist. We would crumble to the ground without corporations. That's how they act. I'm gobsmacked by that. You know, I really am gobsmacked. Oh, Sibylle Hartman, she's in Switzerland. One of the people in my chat room is in Switzerland. She says, green Switzerland has become brown like California. Yep. Granny, you're not blocked. No one is blocked. But yeah, so Switzerland is now brown. You know? So did someone tell me? Natalie Harp. So that's his new squeeze, Natalie Harp. I believe Trump is having an affair with her. I have no evidence of that other than they're always together. They have notes back and forth that say, I can't live without you and I love it. Yeah, no, they're having an affair. Ugh. You suppose she changes his diaper?
Patreon is the way to show you care. Subscribe today if you dare. Keep the show on there. Patreon is the way.
You have to be proud with hatred.
Hey everyone, it's Karel. Pride Month was rough this year. We had a lot of hate heaped upon us from Trump, from MAGA, and from other governments around the world. And if you are a trans person, you are really going through a particular type of hell right now. That's why when I was thinking of my next single in June, I sat down and I wrote, "You have to be proud." You have to be proud with anger so loud, streaming everywhere. Keep fighting, keep singing, keep dancing. We're gonna win.
To be strong.
Now it's showtime.
Don't forget to go stream You Have to Be Proud by Karel, Karel. You have to be proud. Also, go watch the video at youtube.com/reallykarel. I'd love for you to go watch the video for You Have to Be Proud. And this morning, Apple Music played I Dance Because in my rotation, my song, I Dance Because. And I was listening and going, this is a great song. And then I realized it was my song. And that really made me happy because I was jamming. I go, God, what is this song? It's great. And it was a remix of my song. I don't know every remix, by absolute heart. And so I was like, oh my God, this is me. And I was like, this is jamming. Oh God. You see, if I was doing my David Hall radio, what a man, what a mentor, what an inspiration, what a true friend David Hall is to me. I got so lucky meeting him in the mid-90s. I really did. You luck up when you meet some people. I lucked up meeting David Hall. I really did. And I don't even think he liked us at first. I think we were a bit overwhelming for his Pasadena sensibilities. But he took a chance and he put us on KFI radio and got a lot of crap for it. He suffered as much as we did. But his philosophy of talk radio was, I know you should talk about Ukraine, and I know you should talk about Donald Trump, and I know you should talk about, what's going on, but what's really on your mind? And whenever I do that, those topics always resonate with you. Now, the first is defending the indefensible. I find it appalling that there are so many people under my post defending corporations. There are some good corporations. There are. And when I say I want to get rid of them, I don't want to wipe them out entirely. For instance, if I need a microphone, okay, or a mic stand, or a camera, okay, of course there should be a company like Sony or Canon or Hasselblad, which is my dream camera that I'll probably never have. In my life, I don't say never, but I will probably never have a digital Hasselblad camera because they're $11,000. And I'll probably never have one. And that makes me very sad. It really does make me really sad. I got into a discussion online with this great photographer. He's beautiful. Oh my God, he is so handsome. And he shoots like Vogue and everything, but also they shoot him too because he is, oh my God, he is dreamy. And I asked him what kind of camera is it, why he shoots with a Canon. And we actually had a dialogue. He answered and then I answered. I asked if he had a Hasselblad, on and on. And then Annie Leibovitz, I asked her, are you still shooting on a Hasselblad under one of her photos that she posted? And she said, yes. She answered me. To me, I'm more starstruck talking to Annie Leibovitz. I should try to get her as a guest. She didn't really do talk shows. And you all know who Annie Leibovitz is. If you don't, you should. But I should get her as a guest. Anyway, so the David Hall school of thinking, what's on your mind? So first is, I can't believe so many people in America defend the indefensible. Corporations running our government, running our lives, that's indefensible. If you want to have a corporation that exists to buy a camera or a microphone or furniture, okay, fine. Yes, there has to be companies that sell furniture, that sell electronics. Those aren't necessities of life. You don't need a television, that sort of stuff. But that's where it should end. Corporations, should have zero power in government. They shouldn't have personhood, Citizens United. That's the first thing. The second thing is they should not be involved in for-profit operations for anything that directly affects our life. Corporations should not make money off of designing and building public transportation. Corporations should not make money off of delivering you electricity or internet or gas or water, the essentials of life. Corporations should not be involved in anything that you need as a human to absolutely survive. Healthcare. There should be zero corporations involved in healthcare. And if they are involved, it should be not for profit. And I don't mean they should be set up as not-for-profit institutions because those make profit. I mean that if a widget for an operating room cost $1.80 to make, that's what the hospital is charged for it, $1.80. Not $30 for a $1 thing. And the same with our military. Corporations should not be involved in making anything for our military. And if they are, it should be at 0% profit. No corporation should get rich making things for our soldiers or making things to defend our country and thus defend them. They shouldn't lose money on it. They shouldn't have to donate it, but they shouldn't make any profit. And especially healthcare. No corporation should make a dime off of providing things to healthcare. Now, they can build their operational cost into the price. I'm not saying the executives should work for free, but they shouldn't be billionaires. And yet people defend that. And they defend billionaires and millionaires. And they're like, oh, no, we must vote against the wealth tax. People that ain't got a pot to piss in, that line up for food banks, vote against wealth taxes. Because in their heart of hearts, they think one day they might have $1 million or $1 billion. They're never going to. I don't understand how we defend the indefensible in this country. I do not. Or around the globe. I don't get it. The actions of people we defend. You see someone crashing out on social media. They're clearly in the wrong. And yet you will see someone below go, well, the other guy, that victim blaming. Defending the indefensible is called victim blaming. Well, we used to defend rapists. Well, they wanted it. They were wearing a skirt that went up. You could see their wahoo. She was wearing something cut down to here. You could see her cleavage. She had to have wanted it. That is defending the indefensible. And if you notice, I want you to start looking around. You're going to see a lot of it. Half of what social media is they call it rage bait. Rage bait is just defending the indefensible. Defending something that should not be defended. That's just rage bait. That's what that is. Clickbait. I don't understand why we do it. It doesn't serve us. And it's disgusting. Defending corporations that make billions off of our suffering is disgusting.
It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Karel Cast on your favorite streaming service. You're listening to the Karel Cast. Driving you home or driving you crazy. It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Karel Cast on your favorite streaming service. You're listening to the Karel Cast. Driving you home or driving you crazy.
Stream I Dance Because on all services.
The song is very, very personal to me. And the video now is very touching to me. I cried the first time. I cry all the time. But I cried the first time I saw it. We all have somebody, whether it's someone that's passed from AIDS or some other thing. We all have people that we danced with, and that's why we dance.
Stream I Dance Because on all services.
Now it's your turn.
All right, we are back. It is the Karel Show. It is Monday, August 17th, and I am so happy to be here. So I got to tell you, tomorrow we're going to have a fun show. Tomorrow, what's his name? Rick? Yes, Rick McIntyre. Rick McIntyre is going to be here with us tomorrow for about half the show, actually. And we are going to discuss all things Lizzie Borden. Now, the Ryan Murphy Lizzie Borden thing is starting in a week on Netflix. And I can already tell you it's going to be hugely, hugely inaccurate. And I am very fascinated by one of the oldest unsolved cases in American history. 1895. It's still unsolved. And so we have an expert who is sitting in the Lizzie Borden house when he does the interview. And that's going to be very exciting. That's tomorrow. On Thursday, we're doing This Gay Week. But we're also, let's see, we've got interviews coming up next week with influencers and psychologists about is the era of the influencer over. And next week, we're going to have someone that participated in the Netflix film Big Chicken. So we got things going on, child, more than normal. From the David Hall School of Radio and Podcasting, what is on your mind? What's really on your mind? So defending the indefensible, that's the first thing on my mind and how we do it. This is a little side tangent topic, and I just want to see if you can relate to this, okay? Some of you might be able to. I have a friend, and we often go out to dinner and have a really good time. And I really love this friend, and I love going to dinner with him. And many times that we go, the friend invites another friend that they work with. And they're usually fine or whatever. But I realized this weekend by going out with them that this other friend that he works with, I don't want to say doesn't like me, but doesn't really care if I'm there. And for me, it kind of came to a head this weekend. At the table, I have interesting stories. I live an interesting life. At the table, I tried to share some of my interesting stories. I had just seen the show Eye of the Storm, and it was about Valencia, Spain, and how the town basically went underwater from an overground hurricane. It was a very interesting story, and they were talking about a town in Spain that suddenly vanished, like everyone left the town. And I said, oh, well, there's another town in Spain. And, it was really interesting on this show, Eye of the Storm. And right as I started to tell it, This person just immediately changed the topic and started talking about Botox. I'm not making that up. About which kind of Botox is better. So I just stopped telling my story. And I noticed throughout the night that that's how it went. If I tried to start with some sort of interesting story, they immediately interrupted with either a work story, which excludes me, or with, some other something. Oh, our trip here, or oh, look at this, or oh, whatever. So I thought, wow, I can't really tell a story. Then I saw an ad on television, and it was here in Nevada. Aaron Ford is the Democrat running for governor. And now a Republican PAC is taking out ads saying he's endorsed by Gavin Newsom. He shares Gavin Newsom's values. Aaron Ford and Gavin Newsom, they're one and the same. People think that that's Aaron Ford's campaign running that ad. It's not. It's Republicans, because they know in Nevada, Gavin Newsom is not liked. And Californians in general, for some reason, even though they bring almost 50% of the business to Las Vegas, people that live in Vegas don't like Californians. It's the weirdest thing to me. They hate them. And they look at California as some weird, messed up state. And I mentioned at dinner, this ad that's on these monitors here that's playing, that's paid for by Republicans. The Democrats are not doing that. Oh, I don't want to talk about that tonight. So I'm shut down in one conversation and ignored in the other. But the best is yet to come. Oh yeah, the best is yet to come. And I'll tell you what it is.
If you're not visiting reallykarel.com daily, you're missing out. Get the podcast videos and the blog, including recipes, at reallykarel.com. That's really KAREL.com.
You have to be proud with hatred.
Hey everyone, it's Karel, and I want to invite you to stream my new single, You Have to Be Proud, on Swishcraft Music. You Have to Be Proud by Karel. Go stream it, go march to it, go wave your rainbow flags and piss off MAGA to it. Do whatever you need to do to remind yourself and others we are stronger than ever, and they can't have our pride.
To be strong.
Showtime is here, no time to fear. Karel is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Karel is the one that you need to know.
All right, welcome back. So then during this dinner, it takes forever. We had an incompetent waiter, and he was weird. He was weird and incompetent, and which is unusual for this restaurant. And at the end, this friend says, oh, well, let's get a picture, and then hands me the camera and says, would you mind taking the picture? And so I take it. My other friend gets up and goes over and poses with them. And then this person posts to social media, had dinner with my two favorite people, my husband and my friend from work, my bestie, my work bestie, and my husband. I'm not even mentioned. I'm not even mentioned. I'm not in the photo, and I'm not mentioned. And when I got home and I saw that post, I said to myself, she really does not care if I'm there. She doesn't care. I could be or I couldn't be. I don't matter. And I said to myself, why are you spending time with people that don't care, that you don't matter enough to even say, well, come and get in the picture. Have the waiter take the picture or whatever. Why do you even go out with these people who won't even let you tell a story? Don't share your common interest. You don't want to sit there and talk about diamonds or Botox or shopping or whatever. And when you do bring up something you want to talk about, how the Republicans are running an ad for a Democrat person here they don't want to talk about that. And I thought, you're with the wrong group. And that hurt, because I really love my friend. And he is not the wrong group. He is totally the right group. But his friend, okay, his friend is not my friend. Obviously. Oh, let's have a picture, and I'm not in it. A post on social media. Had dinner with my two favorite people, my husband and my work bestie. I'm not even mentioned. Not even mentioned. And I thought, you know what? Life is too short. Life is too short. So I probably will be declining the next invitation, which is sad because I really love that restaurant. But I'll go with my friend, the one that always invites me. I'll go with him. But when she's going, because she doesn't care if I'm there. She doesn't care what I have to say. She doesn't even know what I do for a living. They're raving about my friend's, what he does for a living outside of work, his other hobby. They have no idea of my history, and they don't care. They don't ask me questions. They never question me. You know how when you care about someone, you question them? Like, oh, well, what do you do? Or how have you, or what have you know, well, that sounds interesting. Tell me more. Never says that to me. Never. Life is too short to spend it with people who don't care that you're there. Okay? I wanted to share that. It's just too short. It's too short. That kind of social engagement, no, you just stay home because it's too short to not, care. And this person wanted to sit outside. It was 87 degrees. Ember is a senior dog. I said, oh, maybe we should sit inside. Oh, no, outside's lovely. Gave zero credence to the fact that I had a senior dog that, might need to be inside in the air conditioning. Oh, she'll be fine. She'll be fine. She wasn't fine. She panted quite a bit and quite heavily. Drank a lot of water. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you. It just, if you, and it did hurt my feelings. When I saw the social media post that said, had dinner with my two favorite people, I thought, well, I was there too. I'm the one that took the photo. There wasn't even and thanks, to Karel for taking the picture. Nothing. As if I did not exist. That hurt. That hurt my feelings. And also my friend shutting me down and saying, oh, I don't want to talk about that tonight. When I just mentioned that the Republicans, I do this for a living. I talk about current events and social issues for a living. So obviously I don't turn that off. Andrew and I talked about these all the time. Daniel Charleston and I talked about world events at dinners and lunches all the time. That's who I am. I talk about current events. But obviously not at that dinner. Anyway. So that hurt my feelings. And that got me on the defending the indefensible. That action that she did is indefensible. It's wrong. And actually my friend, which is her bestie, should take her to task for that. Should go to bat for me and say, hey, Charles is at the dinner, when we're taking pictures, and he's not just your photographer. And when you post about it, you say I had dinner with two of my favorite people and you leave him out. That's hurtful. But he won't. He won't. But oh well, that's fine. So Donald Trump pooped his pants over the weekend. Now he's threatening to blow up, I think, Oman. I believe it said Oman. And I'm like, Oman's in Jordan. Does he need a map? Is he having a demented moment? What's going on? What in hell is going on? And what's he going to blow them up with? I thought we were out of missiles and rockets and things like that. So I watched the BBC last night, and I have to tell you, North Korea. So did you hear we're stopping doing stuff with South Korea? These joint military games that we do. And Donald Trump says it sends the message that Kim Jong-un is bad and that, we have to be prepared to fight a war against Kim Jong-un. And I don't want to send that message. So he's defending a fascist dictator who tortures his people. And he is straining the relationship with our only ally in the region, saying they're not a good ally. He's got to go. Donald Trump orders reduction of U.S.-South Korea military drills. Why? Because they upset Kim Jong-un. Can you believe this? I mean, I know you can. Democrats rebuke Trump. So what? Do something more than rebuke him. You know, please. Trump threatens to bomb Oman with Iran war stuck in stalemates. Why Oman? Can someone please tell me why Oman? Monday marked 60 days since the U.S. and Iran signed a memorandum of understanding that called for a wider peace deal to be negotiated. It has not been. After multiple flare-ups and suggestions of an imminent accord, there do not appear to be any plans to end the now 24 weeks, that's 6 months, 6-month war. President Trump threatened Monday to bomb Oman if the country gets in the way of U.S. efforts to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and end the war with Iran. Is Oman a country? I thought Oman was a city in Jordan. I could be wrong. Is Oman a country? Oh, yes. Okay. Oman is a country. It's officially called the Sultanate of Oman, located on the southeast coast of the Arabian Peninsula in Southwest Asia. Isn't it also a city? Is Oman in Jordan? No, Oman is not in Jordan. There are two separate independent countries in the Middle East. Oman, I thought Oman was a city in Jordan. I really did. Oh, a lot of people do. It's the number one asked question. Wow, you learn something new every day. So Oman's a little country that Donald Trump said he'll bomb another country. It's another country. So we're not just going to bomb Iran, we'll also bomb Oman. Oman, spelled Oman, by the way. Wow. Oh, also in the news today, a congressperson, I don't remember her name, I think it's a her, the name is sort of Arab sounding, has introduced articles of impeachment against Pete Hegseth, Pentagon Pete, over the conditions on the aircraft carrier, which has now been relieved of its duty and those soldiers don't have to kill themselves anymore. And the CENTCOM commander who went to it said that, yeah, there were problems on board. So we had soldiers living in a hellhole, an aircraft carrier off of Iran. So we sent a new aircraft carrier to relieve them, and they're living in squalor. Then we have the president threatening another country in a 6-month war where gas here in Vegas is back near $5 a gallon again. In California, it's 6 or 7. And food prices. The only good news, they think they found the source of the cyclospora, and indeed it was Taylor Farms, the company that they named first and then gave a huge donation to Donald Trump, and then they said, no, it's not Taylor Farms. Well, it is. And it's from lettuce that was imported from central Mexico. So you were drinking Mexican or eating Mexican parasites. Some Mexican pooped in the water, or the irrigation water was wastewater, which happens. Farms in Mexico sometimes use wastewater as irrigation. And guess what? There's parasites and E. coli and things living in the wastewater. And then they ship it to the U.S. in bags. And Taylor Farms sells it to all these restaurants who then serve it to you, and you have explosive diarrhea as the parasite works its way out. Well, the infected batches, the sell-by dates are gone now. So they believe that all of the infected lettuce, and it was only, I bought strawberries yesterday. Nevada has had 0 cases on our own. We had 13 cases. All of those people had traveled to states that had outbreaks. We've had no organic outbreaks here in Nevada from our own produce or from anything here. So I got strawberries yesterday. And I would say it's now safe to probably have romaine lettuce, not in a bag, but if you get romaine, wash it off, take the outer leaves off. But it's getting safer again to have the produce. The cyclospora outbreak is waning. There were no cases reported yesterday. So no new cases, that's not soaring again. So that's the one piece of good news, that's waning. It's going back to its normal summer, because it normally goes up in summer. It's going back to its normal summer levels. COVID is rising. It is a summer bug, and it is rising. COVID is breaking out in California, Nevada, Washington State, Arizona are all seeing upticks in COVID. So if you are immunocompromised or whatever the case might be, please be safe. So all of that is going on in the world today. Oman is on the Strait of Hormuz. Of course, Trump wants to bomb the strait. Oh, yeah. Well, he wants to take it over. He said he was going to declare it a U.S. territory. Iran was like, go ahead and try. China and Russia will not let us do it. And according to the BBC, they are closely monitoring our weapons capabilities. And as they shrink because of this ongoing war, plus we sold a lot to Ukraine, China and Russia are increasing. They're building new aircraft carriers. They're building new nuclear submarines. And why? Who do you suppose China and Russia see as a country that they're going to need to use these against? Anybody? It's not Uruguay. It's not Colombia. It's not Costa Rica. It's not Oman. I watched so much BBC yesterday, I thought, you got to get out of this country. Because we had our own commander talking about how North Korea now has ballistic missiles that'll reach anywhere in North America. That we now have the threat of a North Korean ballistic missile reaching the United States. And that our defense against them isn't that great. We think we have Skynet or this, that. No, not really. The other thing he said that we're extremely vulnerable is drones. We don't have any drone defense systems here in the United States. Can you believe this? The trillions of dollars that we spend on defense, and we have zero. The Ukrainians have a better drone defense capability than America. And what is Donald Trump worried about? His ballroom. He is taking it to the Supreme Court. His name on the Kennedy Center. They voted to put it back on. That is in violation of a court order. If they put it back on, it'll go back to court and the judge will say, no, it is not going on. This is what Donald Trump is worried about. He is not worried about gas prices. He's made that clear. He shoves that out. He's like, they're not that much more. He's not worried about grocery prices. It's all okay so long as they don't get a nuclear weapon. He's not worried about anything that really affects you or I. And he's shitting his pants. Wow. We're in great shape, aren't we? We're in wonderful shape. We are. We're in great shape. Woohoo! Yay! Go team.
Patreon is the way to show you care. Subscribe today if you dare. Keep the show on there. Patreon is the way.
Now remember, the word is F-U-N-K, funk, honey. Do you want a funk? Hey, it's Karel. Go stream Do You Wanna Funk, my tribute to Sylvester, everywhere you get your music. Karel, Do You Wanna Funk?
Now it's showtime.
So tomorrow we're going to talk unsolved crimes with the Lizzie Borden house. Rick McIntyre will be here. So if you're interested in that case, tune in. Let's take a quick look at the news headlines before we go to make sure I didn't miss anything on today's show. Let's see. Police investigate the death of Hayden Panettiere. Yeah, because you don't drop dead at 37 years old. But no evidence of foul play, so it was probably, unfortunately, she probably took something that just didn't sit right. Las Vegas temps will peak at 107 midweek. Great. Wonderful. That's just great. Live updates. Trump lashes out at Oman as deadline for U.S.-Iran deal passes, so he'll just get, another enemy, another country that will hate us. Great. That's wonderful. Isn't that great? Trump's to North Korea strains alliance with the South. Yup. I'm not going to do those reindeer games anymore because I don't think Kim Jong-un is such a bad guy. Oh. Is there no end in sight? Can he just please drop dead? I mean, they're going to have to impeach him. If we get a Democratic House and Senate, they're going to have to impeach and remove. And if Republicans won't vote with the Democrats to do that, then the Democrats should vote to remove any Republican from the House or Senate. And they can. They can remove their own members. If Republicans refuse to govern because the Democrats win the House and the Senate, Democrats should remove them. Period. Oil prices rise. Great. As Iran rules out interim deal extension and threatens to escalate the conflict. That's called an unending war. Of course, MAGA will defend it. MAGA will blame Iran. This is what I'm talking about. Defending the indefensible. MAGA will blame Iran. Well, it's Iran's fault. No, they were attacked. Former ESPN anchor apologizes to world for Trump. He does not speak for the United States. No shit. The end of Oak Street features a stealth time travel movie Easter egg you'll miss. Well, I'm seeing it today at 2 o'clock, so hopefully I won't miss it. I'll tell you tomorrow if you should go see the end of Oak Street. Extreme heat watched for Southern Nevada. No shit. Polyester is Gen Z's newest viral insult. Here's what it means. Who cares? Gen Z, who cares? What a bunch of idiots. I mean, they really are. Gen Z, Gen X, not Gen X, Gen Z, Gen Y, millennials, 12 brain cells. Truly. Second largest reservoir in U.S. plunges to a record low. Guess what that is? That's Lake Mead. Uncharted territory. Yup. I am sitting here 30 miles away from the second largest reservoir in the country, and it's almost empty. It will stop generating power soon. There's going to be blackouts. There's already an Arizona town that is running out of water. And no one's taking this crisis seriously. Nobody. No one is taking it seriously. Oh, what else? How the right to repair laws are surging across the U.S. Yes, you have the right to repair your stuff. Instead of just throwing it away. So much of our electronics now are just trash. Just throw it away. What else are in the headlines? Anything? No. Fewer U.S. adults say they gamble because they're broke. You know? They're broke. What else? California is one of 5 states to lose residents last year. They always do. Nevada was just named number 46 on the worst places to live. And I live in it. Isn't that something? U.S. Supreme Court rejects Trump's bid to overturn E.G. Karel verdict. Yep. And John Ossoff, he's out criticizing Trump like a presidential candidate. He's out. He's the one that said that this woman and Trump are having an affair. John Ossoff calls Trump's handling of Iran war uniquely despicable. Yeah, he's running for president. And he could win. A smoking gun email linking Trump directly to his war on Colorado has a federal judge fuming. Who cares? You know? Who cares? The weekend is 100 years old? What? We didn't have weekends until... In 1926, Henry Ford gave his employees both Saturday and Sundays off, and the 2-day chunk of time to party, pray, and do nothing was born. Now it's changed beyond recognition. So we didn't have the weekend to be no work until 1926. Did y'all know that? Did you all know that it was Henry Ford that created the modern day weekend by giving his workers... See, corporations. Why do we have time off on the weekend? A corporation. And why is it only 2 days? A corporation. If Henry Ford had given his workers Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off, which everybody says works better for everybody, and that a 4-day, 10-hour-a-day workday is much better. Science tells us 10 hours a day, 4 days a week, and then 3 days off. Science says that's how we should work. Younger workers don't want to work 40 hours a week, 5 days a week. Why we don't go to, I do a 4-day work week. Why? A lot of you wonder why I'm off on Fridays. Science tells us that a 4-day work week is better for us. And now to add to the theme of the show about corporations controlling so much of our life, it was 100 years ago that Henry Ford gave us the 5-day work week. So your weekend was granted to you by a millionaire corporatist. That's why you don't work on Saturday and Sunday. Isn't that something? Henry Ford. Wow. Wow. I didn't know that. We learned 2 new things today. I learned that Oman is its own country. And I thought it was a city in Jordan. I really did. And I learned that Henry Ford gave us the 5-day work week. Had Henry Ford decided to give us a 3-day work week, well, or a 4-day. I am Karel. Be who you want to be. It's not going to hurt anybody. Tune in tomorrow as we have a guest from the Lizzie Borden house to talk about one of the most interesting unsolved murders of our life. Not our lifetime, but our grandparents' lifetime. And our parents. Since 1895. That's a while to go unsolved.
It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Karel Cast on your favorite streaming service. You're listening to the Karel Cast. Driving you home or driving you crazy. It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Karel Cast on your favorite streaming service.
Showtime is here.